time, ladies and gentlemen. We have UFC 322 locks and shocks. Can this man, Jack Della go out there and defend his gold against Islam Makhachev? Before we start this video, one, I need you to drop your upset of the night down in the comments. Y'all know how we get down on the page. We got our predictions from our main prelim all the way to the main event. These are my locks and upsets for UFC 322. Starting with our prime prelim of the night, we got Bo Nickel taking on Vieira. Bo Nickel coming off a devastating loss. Y'all remember this? To Reiner de Ritter, a guy, unorthodox boxing, striking. Finally, Bo Nickel goes up against the guy who can actually strike. We see Bo Nickel has done nothing to improve his stand-up game and gets dominated when they want him to take that next step in the UFC. Can he show something better? You would think the UFC would put him up against the guy, right, that could strike, kind of see if he's honed his skills a little bit better. No, he's going to go up against 36-year-old BJJ veteran in Vieira, who has a very streaky resume. Good job, UFC. Keep Bo Nickel's aura alive. Bo Nickel is probably going to go out here and give Vieira absolute belt to ass. Probably going to take him down. Probably going to dominate him. Probably in the second round. Lock me in. Bo Nickel with the 205 favorite, by the way. Can we give this guy some actual competition, please? I hate when they keep spoon-feeding these young fighters bums. We want to see them progress their skills and get better. Next, we have Dariush against Benoit Saint Denis. Both of these guys went on a little streaky losing streak, got back in the win column. BSD's win column is a little, one of them, he was a 1,400 favorite, something absolutely ridiculous, and I thought he was going to lose that fight. It wasn't looking good at first. He comes out with the win, but then he goes out there and beats a fighting nerd in Rufi, who everyone was so excited for. But these fighting nerds, their thing is they are one-trick ponies. They needed these losses, right? These guys need these losses. I'm not big on keeping the zero, ladies and gentlemen. I think taking the loss propels your game to the next level. I don't hate the fighting nerds. I want to see them take these losses early so they can become better fighters in the octagon and potentially one of the best teams of all time. Taking on Dariush, who took a little step back in the octagon over the last few years. He did come back and get a big win over Money Moicano, but is that going to be enough to start up a fighting streak against a guy like Benoit Saint Denis, who was supposed to be one of those guys who was going to keep jumping up in the rankings? Took a sorry loss against, who was it? Dustin the Diamond Poirier. Took a loss. His fight after that, I forget who it was again. But both of those losses, one was staff, it was just really weird occurrences. Benoit Saint Denis coming out with the big dub for his career. Next, we have Leon, former champion Edwards, taking on, speaking of a fighting nerd, Carlos Prates. Leon Edwards has been in the ring with the best of them. He stood in there and boxed with the best of them. He stood in there and knocked out some of the best of them. Can he go out here and show he is still an absolute legend? This man has not won a fight since 2023 over Colby Covington. Another fun stat, going up against a guy like Prates, has never been knocked out in the UFC. He does have a cardio for a 5-round fight. This is going to be a 3-round war, though. Carlos Prates coming off a win against a Texas Roadhouse waiter and Geoff Neal. He got outpaced, outperformed, and outclassed by a guy like Ian Gary in 5 rounds. Does he have the cardio? Has his cardio got better? 1, not going to matter this fight. It's a 3-round fight. 2, I want to see these guys get better. I want to see them elevate their game. Can he put away a guy who's never been knocked out in Leon Rocky Edwards? I'm rocking with Carlos Prates with the win. Next, another, by the way, UFC 322 is full of absolute ridiculous, insane matchups. Sean Brady, who we thought was going to sit out until he could get a title shot. It seemed like that's what he was going to do. But in a division where there are dogs waiting in line for a title shot, you gotta stay active. Sean Brady coming off a dominant victory over a guy we just talked about in Leon Edwards, opting to fight an upcoming demon while he waits on a title shot. And Michael Morales is 26 years old and has absolute insane, ridiculous reach. I feel like he's one of the bigger guys in the division. At least that's what he looked at against Gilbert Burns. Maybe Gilbert Burns is a little bit smaller for the division. Nonetheless, this dude looks absolutely massive and he packs an absolute punch. Can he knock out Sean Brady before Sean Brady gets a hold of him, takes him down, and absolutely dominates him? I am personally rocking with Michael Morales with the win. Next, we have Shevchenko taking on Zhang Weili. Weili going out here, vacating her belt because she doesn't want to chase a win streak. She wants to chase absolute greatness. And what way to start than taking the belt from one of the greatest women fighters of all time and Bullet Shevchenko. I'm going to keep it so real with you. I am rocking with Bullet Valentina with the win. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we have Jack Della Maddalena looking to defend his gold against Islam Makhachev. That being said, y'all know who I'm rocking with. I'm not going against the Dagestanis, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to keep it real with you. Now, what JDM just did out there to go and get his belt was absolutely ridiculous. Put on an absolute striking clinic against a guy that's not great at striking. Let's just be completely real. And a guy who, for some reason, didn't go and camp with the guys that helped him get the gold. I think Islam Makhachev goes out here and gives Jack Della Maddalena, unfortunately, because I like Jack Della Maddalena so much, absolute belt to ass. And I think it's going to eventually set up an absolute insane fight between Makhachev and Ilia Topuria that we are all wanting to see. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our UFC 322 picks, predictions, and upsets. What I need y'all to do before you end this video, make sure you go down below, hit that like, hit that follow button, and let me know your upset of the night and your lock of the night down in the comments. Are we going to have two and stills? Are we going to have an and new and still? Or are we going to have two and news? Let us know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget, like and follow.